welcome back to my channel. My name is Addie. Welcome to another reading vlog, and today obviously we're in a different room, we're in a different setup. This is my first reading vlog in my new space, my new apartment. It's very exciting, it's also very scary. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed this week, a little lonely this week, just adjusting and stuff, but the one thing that always helps me is reading. So we're gonna do that a lot this week, especially because my classes didn't start yet, so I'm just kind of just like chilling here until I do. But this week I'm doing a themed reading vlog where I'm only reading dark academia books for a week, and I decided to do this because I am trying to romanticize my life right now. I'm trying to romanticize being in college, being on campus. I feel like reading dark academia is definitely the vibe for that. I feel like actually being on a college campus is the perfect time to read a dark academia book. So I have 3 picked out that I would like to read this week. The only dark academia book I've read is The Secret History, which I absolutely loved that book. I read it about a year ago, so I'm really excited to read more of this genre. So let's get into the TBR for the week. The first book I would like to read this week is Ninth House. I've read the prologue. I'm really excited to read this one. I love Leigh Bardugo so much. It is a mesmerizing adult debut from Leigh Bardugo, a tale of power, privilege, dark magic, and murder among the Ivy League elite. So far I'm loving it. Like, there's so much like magic and ghosts and spells kind of embedded in it, but it's super dark and super freaky so far. I think I'm really gonna like this, and I just love Leigh Bardugo's writing, so I want to start with this one because I think we're gonna start off strong with this. So I'm very excited to get to this book. And then another iconic dark academia book is If We Were Villains by ML Rio. This one I have heard phenomenal things about. I feel like people either love it or hate it. I feel like if you've seen people say that if you like The Secret History, probably not gonna like this one, which makes me a little nervous, but I am going into it with an open mind. I think it's like a bunch of theater kids. I think it's about 7 young Shakespearean actors at Delacour Classical Conservatory. So that sounds pretty prestigious. Don't know much about it, but I'm excited to read this and see what I think. And then the last one is kind of, I think, is more of like a thriller or mystery vibe, but it's In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which is a book I've been really looking forward to getting to. It's been on my TBR forever. It says 6 friends, 1 college reunion, and 1 unsolved murder. It is told in racing dual timelines with a dark campus setting and a darker look at friendship, love, obsession, and ambition. So this one is another book I'm really hoping to get through this week. This one's under like 300 pages, and so is this one, I think. This one, oh no, this one's about 350, and I literally have nothing else to do for the next week, so I'm gonna be reading a lot. So I'm hoping to get through these. I'm hoping it'll make me like romanticize my life a little bit, or like romanticize college campus a little bit, because already like it is very dark for sure. Like, I do not want to live in a dark academia world. Like, I wouldn't survive a minute. However, I do like the vibes, so I'm really having fun with that. So we're gonna start with that, and I think today I'm gonna go to Target and get some command strips because my room is severely lacking in reading ambient lighting. One thing about me is I love some good light, so I gotta get my fairy lights up tonight so I can have a very cozy reading setting. I think I'm just gonna, this week is gonna be a week of reading some dark academia and focusing on my hobbies and just trying to make this place feel like home and just comfort myself pretty much. So that's the plan for this week, and I think I'm going to get reading into more of Ninth House and let you guys know how I'm feeling in a little bit. guys, it is the next day now. Well, it's a couple days later and I'm about halfway through and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. I am really liking this one. I love Leigh Bardugo's writing. Like, it's always very captivating for me. Like, everything she's written I've really enjoyed, so I kind of knew I was gonna like this. It's very drastically different than other books that she's written, I will say. Like, it's her first adult jumping into dark academia, like it's so much darker than her other books, so that's been a really interesting shift for her, but I've been really enjoying it. Also, so this book basically is following this girl Alex, who is kind of has a really troubled past, but she can see what they call like ghosts in this world. They call them grays, and she can see grays, which most people can't see them. You have to have like a special like elixir, and Yale really recruits her to come for a full ride because she can see these grays, and basically to monitor all of their secret societies. But when she gets there, she realizes that these secret societies are a lot more cultish, sinister, dark than she could have imagined. It's a little bit of a mystery element too, because she's trying to like solve a murder and like she thinks it's connected to these cultish secret societies, all while dealing with like seeing the grays, and she's just a very troubled girl. Also, like she does not belong at Yale at all, and she's like a fish out of water. Like, I definitely kind of feel her a little bit. Like, I'm having a lot of imposter syndrome right now, so I feel like I've been relating to that a little bit. But this book though is like dense. Like, there's a lot of like really like big words, and like it reads like a dark academia, you know, like use academic words, I guess. So I should have expected that, but it's taking me a little bit longer to read, a little bit. It's not as easy to absorb as her other books, but her other books are YA and pure fantasy. I think my favorite part of this book is the ghost elements. Like, I love all of her interactions like with the grays, especially one in particular. We're starting to like get to know a little bit more, and I'm having so much fun like watching her like interact with them and like learning about the grays. I think just like anything with ghosts are probably my favorite part of this book, so I'm really liking that. It's also really interesting because like all the secret societies like specialize in something different, and it's really interesting to like learn about like all their rituals and like how they operate and like what's kind of dark about each one. So also part of her problem too is trying to solve this mystery is that like people kind of like know that she definitely does not belong there. Like, she's kind of, and she's a freshman, like so they're not really taking her seriously when she's like, no, there's like something wrong going on. And I feel so bad for her because like she's the only one here who can see ghosts, first off. So she's like, guys, why aren't we taking me seriously right now? She's like right too, like she's on to something, and like no one's listening to her, and I'm like, guys. So I don't know, I'm really enjoying it so far, so I really want to see how it ends and how it wraps up. I think the second half is gonna be a lot more like picking up than it usually is. I think I will say the beginning was a little bit slow just because I was like learning about all the societies. There were so many of them, was a little overwhelming, plus like getting used to the way that like Leigh Bardugo was talking in it, like with all the words and stuff. It took me a little bit to grasp, but now that I'm getting it, I really like it. So really enjoying this, hoping to either like get really further into this tonight or kind of finish it tomorrow. I still have not started classes yet, so just kind of sitting here and nothing else to do. I'm gonna read, and then I'm gonna like organize my craft stuff. I have to like all my craft stuff is like scattered in the living room, and crafts are some of my favorite things ever, and I really want to get that all organized and figured out. I'm not gonna like go into a deep organization because I am getting some IKEA shelves that like went to the wrong house, so I reordered them, and I got the shelves to put all, or like drawers to put all my craft stuff in. So until then they're just gonna go in a basket, but like all this stuff is like scattered around in different boxes. So I'm gonna condense it and put it in a box, and then I'm gonna read more of Ninth House. guys, I have officially finished Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and I got some thoughts and opinions. So I know I said around halfway through that I was really enjoying it, but it kind of started to lose me a little bit towards the end, towards the middle. The last like 50 pages I was really invested, like really liked it. I don't know, like I don't think it needed to be that long. I had a few issues with it. For one, I could not really get attached to the characters, like especially like even the main character. Like I didn't really care, like all the suspects and stuff they were like talking about in this murder, it didn't really dive into like motive or like why this was happening, so I couldn't really see anyone doing it. It was too many people in the mix to like keep track of, and I'm like, I feel like we should have narrowed it down. I guess like that's what's hard about it, like when you don't really care about the characters or you don't really feel a connection to them, it's like where I read the book. So on this Yale society, there's a lot of secret societies and that all specialize in different things. I feel like they kept like talking about these different societies, but I felt like there was a little bit too much going on, you know? Like actually that was the biggest problem I had. Like there was just too much going on. One minute we were talking about ghosts, then portals, then necromancy, and then glamours. Like it was really cool, but like I felt like I couldn't keep track of which house or which society was what, and then like so I didn't really care about any of them. But I did love, as I said, like the ghosts. I thought like it was a very good fall read. Murders, ghosts, all that magic, it was really interesting, especially like on a Yale campus, which I really liked that. But yeah, this book, I mean, I would recommend to check it out. It just like wasn't my favorite, definitely my least favorite Leigh Bardugo I've read. It kind of ended a little bit on a little cliffhanger, but I'm not super convinced I want to read Hellbent. But if anyone who has read Hellbent, let me know if you liked it, because it's not that I didn't like this book, I was just like felt very like medium about it, you know? Like I was kind of excited for it to be over. It didn't really captivate me until like the very end and like the beginning. It was alright. I'll probably rate this somewhere around a 3-star. Yeah, let me know if you guys think I should read Hellbent though. Done with the first book in the week of Dark Academia. Starting off to an alright start. So I think the next book I'm going to read is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I honestly really want to save If We Were Villains for last because I've heard the best things about that one. Well, I've heard the most polarizing things about that one, so like I'm trying to save the one I'm most intrigued for last. But I am really excited for this. It's giving thriller. I'm pretty sure this book takes place like at a college reunion at a really like elite school. It follows like these 6 people who were really good friends, really close friends, probably by like some secret society. One of them was murdered, and now like it kind of fractured the group, and now the college reunion, they're like being forced to confront what happened that night. So I think that sounds really good. I'm really intrigued. The last one I read was kind of a murder mystery too. That definitely screams fall for me, so I'm really excited to see how this goes. I think this is dual timeline. I think it'll be interesting to read about how like it's not like in the moment, like it's happening, like they're trying to figure something out that happened like years and years ago. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna read this next. It's short. I think that's what I need. That one was like really chunky and long, so I'm hoping this is kind of a quicker read, which I think I want right now. So I think I'm gonna start reading this tonight and do a little bit of journaling and like make some muffins and just like kind of chill. Today's like one of my last days where I literally have nothing going on, so I think I'm just gonna try to enjoy the night and do a little bit of reading later, but I definitely need a little break right now, so maybe some journaling and baking. But when I get a little further in My Dreams I Hold a Knife, I will let you guys know how I'm feeling. some journal updates. But I wanted to talk a little bit about In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I have started this today and I am flying through it. And I just want to tell you guys my thoughts and opinions so far, because it's a real possibility I'm gonna get a lot further in this day. It's only 4. I'm really liking this book so far. Like, it's labeled as a dark academia, but there isn't a ton of academia aspects in it. Like, just comparing it to Ninth House gave way more dark academia vibes, which I really enjoyed about that. And this one is set on like an elite college campus, and it's kind of following this girl Jessica, who is part of like this super popular group in college, and one of them was murdered in this group, and the case kind of went cold. Everyone assumed it was her boyfriend, who's also in the group, Jack, but the main girl doesn't think it's Jack. And now they're back 10 years later at their reunion, and the girl who died, her little brother, is like, I'm about to catch which one of you did it. I think everyone here is definitely hiding something, which I really like. Like, it's kind of like uncovering everyone's secrets slowly, and it's really interesting because like I haven't really seen any of the secrets coming. Another thing that I'm really liking about this book is the main character is not likable at all. She is not a likable main character. Like, she's not likable, but you can see where she's coming from in a lot of her actions. Like, she just is not a good person at all. But I think that's the point, and I really like, and I think she's a little unreliable. I think she's hiding something. Like, someone in the book called her kind of a sociopath. Yeah, no, she's so unlikable, and I feel like an unreliable narrator. Like, I feel like she's not telling, like, even though first person point of view, I feel like she's not telling the story to the extent of its fullest. So I'm very excited to see like how it unravels. I am hooked. Like, I want to know how it ends at the end. This one, also compared to Ninth House, is a much easier read. So if you want the kind of like dark academia vibes, not like overwhelming with terminology, not as much like, when I say pretentious, I don't mean it in a bad way, because dark academia is about a bunch of pretentious people, so the writing being pretentious fits with the people in the storyline. Ninth House writing was a lot more pretentious. This is a lot easier to follow and a lot quicker of a read. So if you want something less intimidating to start, would definitely recommend this. Reads much more like a thriller mystery, I would say. But both were kind of mysteries, but this is kind of more your average mystery. My main issue with it is that with the dual timelines, when they go to the past, like it goes like the past and now, with the past, it doesn't go chronologically through the past. Like, it kind of jumps around through college, and it's kind of hard to keep the timeline straight. All of a sudden, like, the last chapter was senior year, but now we're talking about sophomore year again, and I'm like, wait, what happened when? And that's getting a little confusing. Like, I kind of wish it was written in a way where it was chronological. Like, it makes sense why the author did it, but it's just a little bit, like, the execution is making it a little bit hard to figure out like where we are. I would like to lean a little bit more about the dark academia vibes, but for it being marketed as a dark academia book, or maybe, I don't know, like when I looked it up on Goodreads, that's what it's at, or online, you know. I'm still really enjoying this book, and I'm really excited to see how it wraps up and how it plays out, because it's setting up for like a really big massive reveal, and I'm really hoping it lives up to that. So anyway, I'm probably gonna finish that tonight or tomorrow, but for now, tomorrow I start class. This is like my last day of like having nothing to do, which usually I'm like kind of sad to start class, but this time I'm much more excited to begin class, just because, I don't know, I feel like having something to fill my time will make this adjustment a lot easier. Like, it's just kind of been hard not having a ton to do in a city where I don't really know that many people. I am a junior in college, so I'm like in my major now, so I can like meet people with common interests and all that. But I do want to enjoy like my last kind of night of pure free time for the next 4 months. I will update you guys when I have finished my book. Hi guys, I have officially finished In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, second book of the reading vlog. I really enjoyed this one. It definitely did not give the dark academia vibes that Ninth House gave, but it was still like dark, twisted, and kind of, it was like fun. It was just a really fast-paced, like fun mystery thriller. I probably won't remember this in a few months, but like I had fun while I was reading it, and it was super fast paced, which was kind of what I needed after Ninth House. So I'm really glad I read it, and definitely a good book for like the fall time, I would say. Like the ending plot twist did get me, I will say. Like I did not see that coming. Also, there was like a couple plot twists where I was like, wait, okay, and like that kind of had me a little gagged. Also, I love when like you think you got to the plot twist. It was kind of like more just keeps on coming, and it was like, wow, this is insane. Be prepared. Like the characters in this book, all immensely unlikable. Even the main character, immensely unlikable. But that's kind of the point. She was quite unreliable too, because she was having a lot of trouble remembering the night that their friend died 10 years ago. So that was really interesting. But all the reveals at the end really got me. I don't really have that much more to say about it. It was fast paced. I liked the campus vibes. Yeah, I think I would probably rate this somewhere in the 3 to 3.5. I think I would probably rate this 3.5 stars. It was good, but nothing that really stood out to me. Also, I do want to note, the more I think on Ninth House, the more I like it. So I think I'm definitely gonna read Hellbent, which is the next one. After I finished the book, I was like, you know, but I think now it's kind of sticking with me, low-key. Like, so I think I'm going to read Hellbent just to see where the story goes, because I'm still like thinking about it. So just want to give that update. The last book I am going to read, it's Wednesday night, and I'm ending the vlog Friday morning. So we're gonna try to finish If We Were Villains in that time. I am not sure if that's gonna happen, but we're gonna start a third Dark Academia book. This is the one I've been most excited to get to, because this is the one that I like see like when people talk about Dark Academia, like this and The Secret History, I feel like are like the big ones people speculate about, and people love it or hate it. So I'm very intrigued to see what I think about it. I know it takes place at like a very prestigious like classical conservatory with like Shakespearean actors, so I think that's gonna be a little twist, because usually it's like academia, but now it's like theater academia. So I'm very intrigued to get to this. So I'm probably gonna start this tonight, as today was my first day of classes. A little stressed, but it's okay because I don't have class Friday, so all I have to do is get through tomorrow, and then I'll be on the weekend. So I just want to give you guys an update on In My Dreams I'll Hold a Knife, and let you guys know I am starting If We Were Villains, and I'll give you guys an update when I'm a little further in. I just wanted to hop in and update a little bit on If We Were Villains. I read 200 pages of it in the last like day, and this is probably my favorite one I've read. It takes place in Illinois, which is where I'm from, which I have absolutely been loving. Like the fall vibes are definitely immaculate in this, and I'm probably getting the most dark, like twisted academia vibes from it, like pure dark academia, you know? I feel like people either love or hate this book. I feel like I'm gonna lean towards like liking it. Like I don't think it's gonna be a 5-star, but I think right now, I don't know how it's gonna end. Like it's getting twistier and twistier, and like I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about that ending, but depending on which way ML Rio goes with it. But I am excited to see how I feel a little later. Like I'm leaving this weekend, so I have a few hours of driving ahead of me, and I was gonna end the vlog today, but I thought I'd be done with this today, but I'm not, and I don't want to leave you guys hanging on the rating. So I downloaded this on Audible. I actually have been like listening to it like while I've just been like doing stuff this morning, and I think the audiobook I'm enjoying more than reading it physically, because like there's a lot of like Shakespeare quotes. One of the little like pretentious academia things they do, this group of friends do with each other, is talk to each other in Shakespearean quotes. I'm like, I'm like, they do it a lot. I'm like, you guys just like know all those off the top of your head? Like, I'm honestly like don't know whether to be like afraid or like impressed, like, or weirded out, but like reading that, like, you know, it's Shakespeare, like reading it in like English class, I'm like, I don't really know, like it takes me a minute. But I always remember my English teacher telling me in high school that if you're having trouble reading Shakespeare, read it out loud or listen to it, because it's a play, like it's meant to be heard. I started listening to them, and that honestly made me understand and like appreciate and like Shakespeare a lot better than when I was just reading the play. So since there's so many of those Shakespearean quotes, like hearing it makes it a lot more enjoyable. It's kind of written like a play script would be written, like it's act 1 and then the chapters are called like scene 1, scene 2. So it kind of played, and there are parts of it where like it's written like dialogue. It's like Richard this, James said this, like, so it's kind of mimicking that play aspect, and I really enjoyed that actually. So listening to it is making it a lot more enjoyable, honestly. I have like 4 hours left of the audiobook, and I'll probably have 4 hours total in the car, so like there and back. So I definitely will be reading this weekend. I do want to let you guys know how I'm feeling at the end of the vlog, but I'm pretty sure this will probably be like, if you're looking for a dark academia book, like I would recommend this one out of all the ones I've read. But again, I have not finished it, so I'm not quite sure yet. So basically the premise of this book, it's basically these 7 kids who are at this super elite like artsy school. Like it's a little weird, this school. For the theater department, they kick people out like throughout, so the seniors, like the 4 years, are down to dwindle to like 7 people, and it follows these 7 people. It's told from the perspective of the guy Oliver. It kind of starts out like of Oliver like years later, like being in prison for like years, and finally like telling his side of the story of like what actually happened like one night where everything went wrong. And it's kind of him going through the events of how they got to that point. And like right now as you're reading it, you're like, what could have possibly happened to lead to like what you read in the prologue? So I'm really interested in that. It's really fun to read about the character dynamics too with this, because like they are all friends. Like there's 7 of them. They've gone through the last 4 years together, so they're very close. They all live in the same house, but they're like, obviously they're at a very prestigious theater Shakespearean school. Like they are wildly competitive with each other, and there are rivalries, there's tension, and on the top of it, they're like, oh, we're friends, but like they would cut each other to get ahead. I like the plot, but I think the characters are what's really doing it for me in this, because they're so flawed. They're a bit unlikable, but I enjoy that in books. So I am gonna try and finish this weekend, and when I get back in a couple days, hopefully I'll have this done, and I will let you guys know how I feel. It's a couple days later, and I wanted to end the reading vlog because I have finished If We Were Villains, and I have some thoughts. I definitely feel like this was my favorite of the books that I read this week. I actually really enjoyed it. I was very skeptical going in because people, I've heard very mixed things about it, really liked it, especially the last half of the book when I was listening to it in the car, because I feel like this book was so enhanced with the audiobook because of all the Shakespearean stuff in it, and it like felt like a play. Like I felt like it should have been listened to, but the ending definitely had me gagged. Like I really enjoyed that. I want to see, I think Graveyard Shift comes out this month, and I think it might be like a little short story. It's like 144 pages. I think it just might be another book, but I probably will read Graveyard Shift in October, because this book gave the autonomous vibe, academia vibes that I wanted. I feel like if you're looking for pure dark academia in the fall that like gives you those autumn vibes, that gives you the secret history vibes, this is what I would recommend for just pure dark academia. I could definitely see where this author got inspiration from The Secret History. There was a lot of elements that were very similar in my opinion. I love The Secret History, so I didn't see that as a bad thing, but they were very similar in a lot of aspects. So I feel like if you wanted just pure dark academia, I would go with this one. I rated it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. In My Dreams I Hold the Knife, I think I'm gonna stick to like a 3.5 rating. I think this one was probably the least of the dark academia vibes that I felt throughout. This was the quickest one to get through and definitely read more like a mystery thriller. So if you're looking for that, I'd go with this one. And Ninth House was definitely had that fantastical elements in it. It had some ghosts, it had some horror, it had fantasy along with dark academia. It was definitely the most unique of the books that I read. It's grown on me since, like, this is the one I'm still like thinking about throughout the week, so I think I definitely will read Hellbent. Yeah, this one was definitely, it was a very unique dark academia read. So if you are a fantasy reader looking to get into some dark academia, I would go with this one, and I think I'm gonna go with like 3.75 for this one. Did anyone of these books dethrone my favorite dark academia book, The Secret History? No, but that's okay. It just reaffirms of my favorite, which is fine. But I did enjoy, there weren't any of these that I like explicitly didn't like. I really enjoyed If We Were Villains, and I'm excited to read the next book in Ninth House. So I feel like this was a very successful week. I'm glad that I did this reading vlog now. Kind of got me in the mood for fall, got me in the mood to be on a campus. I had a lot of fun with this vlog, and if you guys want to see any more themed vlogs like this, please tell me which kind of vlogs you'd like to see in the comments, especially now that October is coming up and like got some spooky vibes. Would be happy to do a vlog, like what kind of theme vlog you'd want in October, because I'm still kind of grappling with that. But thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed like the new setup and stuff. You're gonna be seeing the rest of my videos here. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and if you like my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!